Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. On this YouTube channel, I kind of talk about things like my high sensitivity, slow living vibes, and a little bit of anything and everything. Today, I want to talk about self-portraits. It's been at least over a decade that I've been taking pictures of myself, and not just like plain, boring, straightforward photos, but more creative photos, and trying to integrate myself into the environment in creative ways, playing with outfits and personas and things like that. So my first real advanced selfie, I took it on December 12th, 2012, because it was the end of the Mayan calendar and it was supposed to be this possible ending of the world, and I thought it's a beautiful date, so I want to do something special to mark the date. So on December 12th, 2012, I took my camera and I went to this beautiful derelict building on the outskirts of the island near the coastline, and I just spent a couple hours exploring how the building inspired the flow and the poses, and just getting caught up in the moment, really. And I can't think of a better way to have spent what could have been potentially the final hours of the world. And from then on, I would occasionally find a beautiful location that inspired me and think of a funky outfit that I wanted to play with and show up with my camera and see what happens. And I didn't know what to do with all of those pictures. I didn't have any destination in mind for them. I just knew that I enjoyed the process, and that in the moment when I'm creating these self-portraits or advanced selfies, whatever you want to call them, it's like when you're a child and you're in play and hours fly by and you're just having so much fun that you don't even realize that a whole day has gone by. And so for me, that feeling is very important, to not go too long without incorporating that into my life. One of the ways in which I feel more present in my life and more connected to the creative energy of the universe is through exploring photographs, and not only self-portraits, also just of things that I see around me. But today I want to talk specifically about, let's say, the healing powers of self-portraiture. So all these years I was collecting all these self-portraits, and I wasn't active on Instagram. I didn't even know how to hashtag or anything like that. So I was just accumulating all these photos with no outlet, and not even sure if I would ever share that with the world. And it wasn't until I discovered the content creator Sorelle Amore, who creates advanced selfies, that I got inspired to do a little bit more with my own self-portraits. So I had a whole collage of photos just sitting around, kind of rotting away. And when I discovered Sorelle Amore's social media, it inspired me to share my photos with the world. Which I have to say at first was really scary, because it was a side of me that no one that knew me personally actually knew about. So it felt very vulnerable. But soon after, I ripped off the band-aid by posting my photos. Soon felt normal and comfortable for me to share my photos. And having an outlet to share my pictures on, it also motivated me to kind of step up my game and outdo myself each consecutive time, because it challenges me to think creatively, to think outside of the box, and to think, so how can I interact in this environment in a way that is different from your cliche, I look pretty and I pose pretty and the sunset is casting such a pretty glow, or whatever, like just doing something more unexpected. So it keeps the brain on its toes. But to be honest, I was still feeling a little self-conscious. And the more I reflected on it, the more I realized that I was judging myself. I felt like I was being too egocentric by focusing the camera on myself so much. And I don't want to be that kind of person. But it didn't feel to me that way. It's just how I imagined other people were perceiving me. Until one day I saw this self-portrait photographer on YouTube, and she explained with such clarity why she took self-portraits, what it meant for her and her creative journey and her inner exploration and her personal growth. She put into words how I'd felt about the process, but I could never manage to describe it to myself in so many words. And that somehow validated the process for me. Because when I really think about it, the time that I've spent with my camera alone in all these various places that I put myself into, sometimes really bizarre situations and locations, I always step outside of my comfort zone. I always discover a new side of me. I always catch myself in an honest emotion of the moment. And sometimes I'll have an idea of what I want to do, but when I get there, I feel so different than how I expected I would feel. And if I don't go with the flow, then I won't have a session. I won't be able to create. I'll block myself. So I have to always show up open and vulnerable and just connect in the moment. And that way, there's always some kind of realization or growth or just a capture of what was in that moment. Sometimes when I'm struggling with too many things on my plate, or like, heavy emotions, when life gets a little bit too much, I always find healing in going out with my camera and taking a couple of self-portraits. I think it's also about choosing to spend some time alone and introspecting, so you force yourself to really sit with yourself, which I think is very vital to help you process things that happen in life. And then I thought, if self-portraiture played such an important role in my life, why not share it with other people? As in, why not invite others to also explore their own self through the lens? So I've been thinking about doing some kind of workshop, but in order to really know what other people would want from something like that, like, I've only ever done it on my own. I've never really conversed with anyone about it. So I don't know the things that other people would struggle with when they're like bearing it all in front of the camera. So I decided to first join this self-portrait exploration course that I found online by Andana, I believe. And I'll put a link for you in case you're curious, but I can't say too much about it because I only just started and I have no idea yet how I'm going to feel about all the exercises, but the first one already gave me a really good challenge, because now it's not just me and my own kind of ideas, but it is a prompt from someone else, and it's like I have this commitment because I paid for the course and I want to benefit from it, so I kind of put in the extra effort, I guess. The first prompt we got was to explore movement through the lens. I got a bit more technical with it because for me, self-portraiture is also about learning to use the camera better, because I am self-taught with camera usage and I'm really slow with the technical side of how to work a camera. So if I don't do these challenges, I do not grow with learning the camera. So if you're curious, I will link to my Instagram page where you can see those photos. So I hope that by the end of this online course that I'm taking, that I will have a clearer idea of what I want to offer people and how I can help them with their own self-discovery journey through self-portraiture. Because it's played such an amazing role in my life that I think a lot of people could benefit from it. And I would love to hear what you think, if you have any experience with it, or if you just take selfies in the mirror and you find that healing. Like, I want to hear your thoughts. Why do you do it? What does it mean to you? How does it make you feel? And I would appreciate it if y'all would suggest a self-portrait creative prompt. I will randomly select one from the comments and implement it in my next selfie shoot. Feel free to add your Instagram handle if you have it, so I can tag you if your prompt is the one that was chosen. So that's it for my selfie self-talk. enough about me. I hope this video was valuable to you, or in the least a little bit entertaining, and I'll catch you next time. Ciao! It's always been so schuin. And I think we're a little bit askew, but we're gonna roll with it.